I spent most of my paycheck for the whole 2 weeks and realized this. I know I may sound crazy that I spent most of my money, and you know how they tell us that we're supposed to save. We was always brought up on save your money for a rainy day and situations like that. But when I spent my money, when I got paid for those 2 weeks, when I spent most of my money, I was realizing that money is made to be spent. So I don't feel bad about it. I really don't. I don't regret it because let me explain to you why I don't regret it. Because you know, when we was coming up in life, we may have our parents or older people telling us to save our money, right? Because that's the tradition that they was brought up off. But really, saving you money can really affect you in a bad way because that's the tradition part of the program to keep us down. Because in reality, imagine where the information is coming from. So I'm not discrediting the person who the information is coming from. They was based off the working mindset. They weren't based off the building wealth mindset. So in reality, you have to pay attention to those who have like a building wealth mindset. Because think about it, it may sound more crazy than you think, but just realize that you've been working and you've been saving up your paycheck. You may be saving up your paycheck for what, 10 years, 15 years, and you may not spend nothing. So think about all that time you've been saving up your money, and then you're supposed to be saving it up for a rainy day, but a rainy day may never come. So you've been saving up all that money, and let's be real, it's really not that much. You may have been saving up, it might take you 10, 15, 20 years just to save up 100,000. And you just got 100,000 saved up just to say, I got 100,000 saved up. What's the point of that? When I used to start thinking, when I started realizing that I can't value money like that because you're supposed to use money as a tool, I became better off. Because you can't be afraid to spend your money. That's where a lot of people go wrong. Now you may have some good investments. You may have some bad investments, but you don't spend all your money on one investment. That's not what I'm saying, do. I'm saying you're supposed to have your money tied up in something, because I'm learning it. And this is something that I had to learn on my own. And once I'm learning on my own, I feel better about it because no one told me what was the proper way to do it. No one told me anything. Everybody just so caught up on just save your money, save your money, save your money. But if you saving, you're not doing nothing. You're not getting nothing done. Because I used to do that back in the day. When I ain't had no job, I used to cruise around the city. You know, I used to look good. Had 10 bands in my account, 15 bands in my account, but I wasn't getting nothing done. So what's the point of having money in your account and you not getting nothing done? Money is made to be spent. So once you learn that, even if you get rich or if you building wealth, you supposed to have your money tied up in a lot of stuff. Now if you want to save, saving is cool. But at the end of the day, that is a risky game. Saving, because the reason why saving is risky, I done seen situations where these couples was working at a job. They saved all their life savings for 20 years. Let me explain to y'all about a situation that I seen, that I looked upon. I seen this couple, they was talking about, they worked at this company. They was saving their money. The boyfriend and girlfriend was saving their money for 20 years. And then once they retired, they was thinking about going into real estate, investing their money, right? It may have been over 100,000 or 200,000 when they retired together. So 200,000 for two people, right? So they tried to go invest in this real estate. So they was gonna believe in this guy. Let's say they was gonna flip their money. He just gotta get the money for the properties, but he ain't had the money, but he needed their money. He wanted them to be investors. So they invested their money and they wanted to believe in him, and the situation just got worse. Let me tell you why the situation got worse. He took their money and he was a scammer. So now they all upset because it's like whatever they work for, they was like, we feel like we've been played because we saved up all these years and the guy turned out to be the scammer. So they upset, they sad. You know why they upset and they sad? Because they had that work mindset. You see what I'm saying? That's why they sad, because all they know is to work and save. If they was never tripping about no money to begin with, while they was working and trying to have their money tied up, instead of saving, they wouldn't be tripping. So just like when a job shorts you your check, you tripping because you was brought up on that mindset to just work for a check and save. That's what I learned. When I spent money and I started feeling happy about spending money, I feel happy about making these choices, I started to learn, because we don't know how to effectively use money because we value money too much. Money is just a tool. So a tool to pay for what you want, but money is made to be spent. That's what they don't tell you. Money is made to be spent. So once you learn that, you'll learn how to use money in a more valuable, proper way. Because nobody just has money sitting in an account just to be saving. Now you may have more incomes than you can save. Now I can say you can save when you got more than one income. But if you got one income and you relying on a job, and you thinking you're going to save money from a job and don't touch nothing, you still got bills. So how you really going to not touch no money? How can you really save if money meant to be spent? And then it's an inflation, so when inflation occurred, then nobody know what to do. Because the people who've been saving for a rainy day, it's still going to eat up all their money that they've been saving because everything is doubled. So once the money still run out, what you going to do to recuperate the money? That's all I'm saying. So that's why saving is really risky if you only have one income. So at the end of the day, we got to stop being trained by the traditional way, what they tell us to do. It's wrong. So that's why I want to tell y'all, when I spent most of my paycheck, I had to realize that. And then once I started trying to invest my money into doing other things like trying to buy stocks, or I might play a scratch off, I might gamble or do anything, I started winning a couple dollars because I wasn't tripping about spending no money, because money is going to be spent anyway. So you just got to have discipline on what and how to spend your money. So don't get to a habit where you just go crazy spending. You got to pace yourself. So if you feel like you're spending money too fast, slow down. Because ain't nothing wrong with slowing down, because money is made to be spent. But everything that we spend our money on, we don't ever see no return on it. So a lot of people save and just waste money and they don't see no return on it. They may go buy some clothes. They might want to get fly. I used to want to get fly too. But at the end of the day, that clothes don't hold no value. Spend your money on something that you know you can get a return. That's why it's called investments. You see what I'm saying? Once you learn how investments work, investments don't work overnight. It's not right away. So that's why we get messed up, because we go work for the money instead of letting the money work for us. So start doing your research. Start doing your due diligence. Start looking up stuff. Start trying to invest. Because I used to talk about this topic all the time, but I never really did a video discussing this topic. I always talk about stuff like this because I'm learning. I'm just like you. So I used to, go work for a check, save my money. But then I used to have money saved up. And the things that I wanted to do, I never was doing them. Because when you're saving money, you're not doing nothing. Unless you just want to be a person saving money and just working, and that's it. But if you want more out of life and you want to build wealth, I think you should start having your money tied up in investments, because that's how I go. Even with rich people, they got so many businesses, companies, stocks, and stuff like that. So they not just gonna have no money sitting around unless they just got an account that they don't touch. But because money is made to be spent, but you gotta learn how to use it as a tool. So once you learn how to use money, you ain't gonna value money as much because you so caught up in, well, I'm gonna go broke. You know how many people went broke and got it back again? Because they know how to manage, they know how to use money, they know how it works, they know how all that stuff. So once you learn the game of money, you'll never really go broke because you know the game. A lot of us don't know the game because we're not willing to put the time in to educate ourselves. Because at the end of the day, you have to try to find something that you can make investment. You might want to buy a stock or whatever you want to get into. The stock market is crashing, but at the end of the day, just wait till it get back on. Because everything don't win all the time. And don't be afraid to gamble. I'm not talking about like you got a gambling addiction. I'm just talking about, even if you say you got a gambling addiction, so what? Just get over it and have discipline. So everything you do in life is a gamble. So it's like when you're trying to go for a new job, or if you leave a job try to go to another one, it's a gamble that the new job you go to might be worse than the last one. So don't be afraid to take a risk, because you're taking risks and you don't even know it. You gotta gamble somewhere in life. You can't escape that. So that's the toughest advice I'm gonna give you. That's the best news I'm gonna give you. You can't escape gambling. A lot of people say gambling is bad. It's not bad. It depends on how you look at it. Because at the end of the day, if you go to work and you just save your money, and say if you just save your money, you buy food, clothes, you know your money is not gonna do nothing for you because you buy clothes and you need food, but you're not making no investments on none of that. Say if you start making small investments and stuff like that, and you just a little mini hustler, you gonna start seeing your money double, triple. Once you start doing that, you're gonna be doubling and tripling, and you ain't gonna never look back. And that's how it's supposed to go. So that's what I really want to tell y'all. So after me spending most of my paycheck, that's the lessons that I learned. I can't be afraid to spend. You gotta have your money tied up. You use money as a tool, and stop tripping about money. Because once you trip about money, you ain't gonna never have none, because you keep tripping about it. You keep acting like you pressed up about money. When you doing something in life, never act like you pressed up about no money, because the money will come. And once you stop valuing money and you start making investments, now I ain't talking about just spending your money crazy like tricking and all that stupid type of stuff like that and stuff like that. I'm talking about spending your money on real important things like investing in situations like that. You're gonna feel good. Or even if you do a good deed, if you bless somebody who need it, just because they're out there homeless or something like that, you're gonna start feeling good about yourself. So stop being tight at the end of the day, because you tight like that because, let's be real, you tight like that because you really ain't got no money. And the reason you really ain't got no money because you're afraid and you don't know how money work. Even a couple of dollars that you get, just think about it. You might go spend your money on stupid stuff that you know you're not gonna get no investment back. And the stuff that you spending your money on, they making an investment. They getting a profit off of it. But you just spending yours because they know the game. When you learn the game of how money works, what you supposed to do with your money, you ain't gonna be tripping, because you're gonna start getting blessed. And you're gonna see money coming from all different directions because you know how to utilize your money. You're utilizing it as a tool. You're not valuing it as money is everything. You're not doing anything for money. You're not pressed up for money. Because when you pressed up for money and you scared to spend your money, that makes you weak and you'll move for the money. You ain't supposed to let the money move you, you move the money. That's how I go. So that's what I learned. Because once I spent most of my paycheck, I realized ain't no point of just saving money, because you can't do nothing when you saving money. What can you do? Think about it. If you just saving money, okay, you're supposed to save for a rainy day just in case stuff happens. And you may need some money 2-3 years down the line. But what you were wrong at is that you relied on one income. So that one income is all you got. That's the most dangerous thing you can do. And 2-3 years come. But 2-3 years come, you got the money to do it because you saved. But when it's time to spend in 2-3 years, it went back down because you ain't had nothing coming in like that, and it was just gonna go out. Because when you save money, it's just ain't nothing really coming in like that. It's just gonna keep going out. So what's the purpose of that? Money is made to be spent. I learned that. I had other things in my life. I wanted to be an artist. I used to drive around with thousands in my bank account, but I ain't getting nothing done. So what was the point of that? So I'm wasting time having money, not getting nothing done. Then when I started valuing money like I was programmed, what they told us to do, I started getting stuff done and feeling good about getting stuff done because I'm not valuing money no more. I'm living in my purpose. I'm getting my work done, and I'm trying to figure out how to generate more money. You see what I'm saying? Once you figure it out, you can put your mind to it. You just got to figure it out. And this is a topic that we all struggle with because a lot of people say saving is good, but I had to break it down to you why saving is not really good. Because you're not doing nothing when you save it. Unless you just want to be a person that's not doing nothing. And then you're going to be the one talking about you ain't progressing with your life. Because look how you living your life. You living your life on a program that they told you that was going to work, and it's not working. Because that program is designed to keep you coming back and working for them. Once you start being different, educate yourself, and stop tripping over money, and stop feeling like you're entitled to stuff, then you're going to start feeling better. Because your mind is clear. That's why I keep telling y'all, keep a clear mind. Because you need that in this life. So stop tripping. If it's something that you say you want to do, if you want to be an entrepreneur and you need to invest in your business and you know it's going to cost this much, stop tripping about it and spend it. What you tripping about? You doing that to better your craft. That's a better investment. You see what I'm saying? Money come and go. Once you learn money come and go, and you learn how to keep it coming, you ain't gonna worry about no money. And I'm starting to learn that I can't worry about money if I want to make some more money. Because once I learn how to generate all my revenue, how I want to generate it, and keep doing my research, money gonna come. Then you're gonna be financially free. The dream you always wanted, the dream I always wanted. So that's my message to y'all about why I learned saving money. It's cool, don't get me wrong, but if you're trying to build something, it's really pointless. Because you need to have your money growing in investments. Money is made to be spent. When you got money saved up, you're not doing it. You may be waiting for a rainy day. But it may take 2-3 years or 4. That's 4 or 5 years down the drain. And you could have been doing something else with that money. You ain't got to spend all your money. Just spend a little bit of it. And try to have it tied up somewhere. Because you let your money work for you. You want to keep punching that clock, or you want to let your money work for you? The choice is yours. So that's all I'm going to say. So let me know what's your take on this opinion. Let me know, have you been through that, or you coming to the conclusion that you realize and I got a point. And I'm going to see y'all on the next one. Peace.